How's it going, everybody? Mike here with the Social Life of Language, bringing to you another video production tutorial for teachers, professors, and anyone else interested. Here we're talking about the fundamentals, whether you're using a phone, a webcam, a laptop, or even a professional camera. Today we're going to talk about framing your shot, the frame, and also the importance of camera angles, and of course, how much of your body should you put in your videos. I'm going to formulate this into two main rules, and this will hopefully change your approach to filming yourself, either as a full screen talking head or in that PowerPoint format where you're in the corner. There are basic rules you want to follow when recording yourself, not because they're unbreakable laws, but because we're used to seeing things on video a certain way. For example, the way we angle our camera sends messages. How much of our body we show sends messages. Some that we want, some that we might not want. This video is about sending the messages we want. Some of those messages might be to convey authority or professionalism, but also mutual respect, maybe equality. These are things teachers might want to convey. Additionally, if we are teaching digitally, the stuff in this video might be more important for some and less important for others, because the intensity of the messages we send through video can at times be intensified. And something like adjusting your camera angle will affect different people differently. For example, think of a man with a really low voice who maybe records their lectures from their laptop that's sitting on their lap, with the camera angle pointing up towards him. That could be perceived as borderline dominance, maybe overly authoritative. Maybe that's not such a good look for a teacher. On the opposite pole, if we have our camera up way too high and we have to look up at our camera and we're sitting really far away and we look really tiny on video, that's probably not a good look either. Plus, aside from these additional messages that you're sending, there is something aesthetically weird about those talking head videos or PowerPoint videos where the teacher maybe has the camera angle pointing up towards them and you can see straight up their nose. So the first step and the most important rule of this video, put your camera at eye level. Honestly, this is the most important part of this video. That means physically putting yourself at eye level. But why do we want to do this? I think in the American context, this camera angle could potentially imply a more equal relationship between, let's say, teacher and student. But also, it's very likely that the straight camera angle looks better visually. If you put the camera too high, for example, it's gonna make your head appear longer and it's gonna make your forehead bigger. So how do we get that eye level shot? Because it's actually a little bit more complicated than it sounds. Okay, so here we are, side view. And this is the main camera I've been using so far. Now I generally sit a little bit further back, but it is most definitely at eye level. But what if you don't have a fancy camera with a fancy little tripod? What if you only have a laptop? The same principle applies. We gotta get this laptop to eye level. Now, if you can't lower your chair this far down, then you need to raise your laptop up. So try putting some books underneath it. I generally use this one cardboard box all the time because I know it gets me at perfect eye level. And there you go, literally eye level. Now, if I was at my big computer, I'd have the opposite problem. My big computer has a webcam on the top. Obviously, you can't just lower your entire computer. So in that case, first try raising your chair. But if your chair doesn't raise, then just sit on some pillows. And don't worry, nobody's gonna know that you're sitting on pillows. You won't be able to see it. Oh, and one more thing. What if you're using your cell phone? So on my phone, I actually stuck some adhesive Velcro. Then on my laptop, I also stuck adhesive Velcro. Take your cell phone camera and there you go, eye level cell phone. Plus, if you're reading off your script or your lecture notes, you can literally just have them right here, and it's gonna look like you're just talking to the camera. And I'll let you in on another secret. My videos are almost 100% scripted, but I use this exact technique except with a professional camera. I put my script right underneath the lens. Something like that. So it doesn't look like I'm constantly looking down at my notes and then looking back up and then looking down at my notes and then looking back up. It gives the lecture a much more organic feel. Let's go back to the main camera. Okay, so now that we've fixed the camera angle to eye level, how much of your face should actually fill the screen? And also, how much of your body should come out on screen? First, as a general rule, you do not want to cut off any part of your head, which I see frequently. It's literally just the teacher's head cut off, or just their hair. Now, I don't know what kind of message that sends to you, but to me, it feels like the person just doesn't really care. And, you know, maybe you don't. That's fine. Maybe you don't really care. But it's not okay if your students think you don't care. And keep in mind, you don't actually know where your viewers are watching your videos. And if you just record a big picture of your face and they're watching you on a big screen TV, maybe you don't actually want that. Okay, now how about the body? Here is where people will differ. And this is definitely a personal choice. But to me, I think hand gestures are crucial. You can emphasize points. You send those extra messages that this is really important, but you can also give hints about who you are as a person. Maybe that you're a hand talker. For me, I don't normally speak with my hands, but for these videos, I do. A lot. And I bet my videos would look really different if I didn't use my hands. And also, if you don't have the most animated voice, your hands can actually do some of the work for you. And maybe you won't feel so fake when you're reading your script or reading your lecture. And finally, rule number 2, our last rule. Overall, I follow this very basic videography scheme called the rule of thirds. Super simple. Basically, you chop your screen into 3 slices. The graph looks something like this. Now you put your body in the middle chunk, and your eyes should be around that top horizontal line. And that's it. If you change this basic stuff, it's going to dramatically alter how you look on camera. To review the 2 basic rules, we got rule number 1, position yourself physically at eye level with your camera. Rule number 2, follow the rule of thirds. Put yourself in that center chunk and your eye around the top horizontal line. And try not to chop off the top of your head. Alright, that's all for today's video production tutorial. You can access more of these videos by supporting this channel on Patreon. This is Mike with The Social Life of Language, and we're done.